Good evening. Thank you for joining us this evening. For those of you who, let me just get rid of that one moment. Sorry, guys. Those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Karen Frey. I am the organizer and owner of Keep On Chatting. Anyway, it's enough about me. You're not here to talk to me. You're not here. You're not interested in anything I've got to say because you're not here for me. Firstly, what I will say is obviously legally by law, we have to state all readings are for entertainment purposes. Anyway, moving on very swiftly. If you are commenting, and can you please make sure that you give, in case this is shared to any groups, can you please make sure that you give StreamYard permission to see your name by clicking StreamYard.com in blue writing. Your end, it will come up your name. My end, it will just come up Facebook user. But if that happens, we will let you know. Anyway, like I said, you're not here to listen to me waffle. This evening, I have a very lovely lady for you. I have seen her work on, I don't know how many occasions now, all different places, at different times. I've seen her work in different ways as well. So without further ado, I'm going to bring her on because, like I said, I'm just waffling and you're not here to see me. So please welcome this evening, Julie Angel. Hello.
Hi, Karen. Lovely to see you, and thank you for having me on your show. Hope you had a great day. I've been sort of just before you clicked on the live time, I was sticking away. I was rabbiting on as usual, so it's just nice to see. For people that haven't seen me work on Keep On Chatting before, I've never done StreamYard, haven't done a Keep On Chatting, So I've also got to learn about the technology behind these things and the comments and whatnot, and people on there.
Oh, we've lost her. She's just clicked off. Bear with, she will be back any moment. In the meantime, can I please ask you to share this out to different groups and so on? If you own a page and you don't mind doing it, if you'd share it to your own pages, that would be much appreciated. She's back. I told you she's back in a minute.
I told you I'll probably stuff it up, new technology and all the rest of it. I try not to mess around with the chat thing so much, but because I'm learning this, so should I just go for it like I would do normally, Karen? And then I guess you can bring the people onto the camera if they're taking what's being said. I don't know. It's a bit of a learning curve. I'll stick at what I'm good at doing. I'll stick to the psychic mediumship and then we can go from there. I may as well launch straight into it because people want to Google.
Yeah, we'll go straight into it because you've already been picking up and you're already giving me information before we even got started. So, are you all right? You've got your comments in front of you. You can see them.
I haven't, but I'll go on the chat, so I know not to press back. If I press the back button, I'll boot myself off here. So I just when I'm
oh, okay. So yeah, just press your comments button and then off you go.
Okay, well, I'll go here anyway. I press the comments button, and I hopefully, I obviously I can't see you at the moment, Karen, but I can see the comments. I'm not going to get too sidetracked, but what they've got to say, I'm just going to get on with it. So, before we went live, I was just describing to Karen that there's a lady stood in front of me at the moment who has got reddish hair. I wouldn't say it's ginger. It's not sort of dark red either. It's like an Albany colour. I'd probably put a into her 50s, might have been a bit younger than that, could have been older. She was a smoker. She's got pale complexion. She's got blue eyes. She's not saying how she came to be in the spirit world. And for people who haven't watched me before, when I say in the spirit world, crossed over on the other side, I'm basically talking about your loved ones, your friends, relations, and sometimes even pets no longer here in person on the other side. Now, the key thing is this lady talks about migrating to Australia. This feels like this was a long time ago, so maybe back in the 70s possibly, or maybe earlier or later that, but I'm feeling as though I should be around about the sort of 1970s time. She moved to Australia with her husband. As I'm seeing now, she's got sort of reddish hair and bluey green eyes. She was quite a heavy smoker, this lady, and she says, I'm a POM. In other words, I'm British, but I've moved and now live in Australia. I did ask her what part, and there seems to be, don't want to go on too much detail at the moment. I'll just start off general and then I'll nail it in a bit. I get quite drawn to Adelaide for some reason. Never been to Australia, so I've no idea what I'm talking about. But with next to her, as I'm seeing her now, and she's just casually dressed. We're just talking about like a normal blouse. She's not wearing a uniform. It's just she's got an open blouse here and wearing a skirt. But next to her is a taller chap. So she, height-wise, this lady is probably around about 5'5", 5'6". She's not that short. And next to her is a taller gentleman. They're both white in appearance, by the way, not of Afro-Caribbean or Asian or Oriental or whatever. And a chap that's next to her has got more sort of thicker, darker hair, and he had a bit of moustache. But he's holding in his arms, having his photograph taken with a koala bear. Now, I know that's a kind of touristy thing to, well, I don't know at all, but I would assume it's quite a touristy thing to do if you're visiting down under. But she does make reference to, I heard a name, which I don't want to give yet because people latch onto the name and they don't really listen to the information, just latch onto the name. So I need to link to somebody that would understand having either an auntie or a relation down under. I'm hearing this link to sort of Sarah as well, that there should become someone called Sarah within the family that would understand this link to Australia, but they've been gone a long time, and that's what I'm needing to link into here. She's also making reference to they've been talking of going. The person I need to link to keep on chatting tonight is somebody that has got relations down under, or did have, and she says no, they still have, and also not only have they got relations down under, but there's also got people past that were down under. But the person I need to link to has been talking of going. The reason I say this is because when they show me things that are quite symbolically, like the Sydney Opera House, I know this is talking about travelling out there. It all works. My psychic mediumship quite often works in quite a cryptic way. So have we got any takers on that so far? I'm going to see if I have to screen up or scroll down. This is going to be an interesting one. I'll try not to boot myself off again. I'm saying all these people saying hello. New comments is down the bottom. Thanks for that. Okay. Right. Have we got anyone linking in? Not at the moment. What else of information can I tell you? Because there's two people that came in the same time just before we went live with Karen. That was one person. The other chap is coming in a bit stronger. I'll see if anyone picks up on this Australian link in a bit. Okay. Right, what's this? Angela Whitaker. I have family in Oz and cousin called Sarah. Perfect. Can I link to you, please, Angela? Now, you might have to cast your memory back. You might have to have a look at it's quite amazing how they suddenly hone in when it's just about to start or finish things. But what this lady is wanting to say to you, and I do believe I am with you, is one that there's a lady down under who I feel is like coming in on a auntie connection, that she's, as I'm seeing this woman now, this woman is spirit side. Okay, so you might have to rack your brains up to dig out old photographs or ask around, but this lady has got more of a reddy colour hair, like a conquery red colour hair. In her age-wise, just repeating what I've said already, I put her probably into her 50s as I'm seeing her now. She's not showing me sick, ill or dying. They never do, or hardly ever, unless it's relevant to the reading. And she's got blue eyes. There's a man next to her that is, I'd say, is her husband, because he's standing, posing, having his photograph taken with a koala bear. Although I heard, I don't know where Adelaide, I haven't got a map of Australia in front of me, don't know where Adelaide is exactly, if that's New South Wales, I haven't got a clue, but she's also talking about Western Australia too. So I feel that you should have relations, Angela, both on the East and the West Coast, and if you're not aware of that, then you will become aware of it. Anyway, the bottom line is that you seem to have an open invitation to still go to Australia, and she did actually give the name Sarah. The name I heard before we came on camera tonight, Angela, was, I heard what I thought was really, really faint, and I work mainly clairvoyantly, so please listen to what the descriptions as opposed to the names. It sounded like a Brut name, so it could be Brenda, Barbara, or it could even be a surname, but I thought it was like Brown, Barb, or something along those, like Babs. People have another nickname. And the other name I heard, it was very faint as well. It sounded like Michael. But I won't worry too much about that. The Sarah was loud, but the Brenda and the Michael was a little bit on the weaker weaker side of things. Anyway, she's taken, just the message for you, Angela, she wants to take a graduation hat and put it on your head. There is going to be this, there should be the successful conclusions of studies. There should be a feeling, oh, she said should be, which makes me wonder what's going on. My auntie Barbara lives in Oz. Marvellous. Okay, well, she was here even before you were, my dear. How about that? They know you're coming. It's as simple as that. Probably not who you might necessarily wanted to link to tonight, but she was talking away about 5 to 7 while I was talking to Karen. Anyway, and she just said, and Karen's another name. That's another family name for you, Angela, apparently, according to this Auntie Barbara. Anyway, what else did she say? Oh yeah, she's just talking about the there's a need for graduation. There's a need to put a graduation hat, I was going to say on your head, but there should be 3 graduates, 3 reasons where people have qualified in their chosen field of endeavour. I say qualified because sometimes we will have a vocational qualification, like a sitting guilds or registered general nurse or something that doesn't have a degree attached to it, but qualified. She's saying, no, you're on the right path. She's correcting me. She's saying that there's, I don't know if you personally work with young children or teaching assistant or nursery nurse, but I feel that children is very much what's coming in around you and your family at this moment in time. I have no idea what I'm talking about, and I can't see anyone apart from names up on the screen, and that's it. But she's also saying it's the luck of the Irish, and for some reason, Angela, she's wanting to give you a 4-leafed clover, and now she's showing me a horseshoe. And she's got her fingers crossed. So there's obviously, wow, look at that. There's obviously going to be a cause for celebration for the family soon. And there's going to be a baby boy coming into this family. Okay, definitely. And there's a good look. There's going to be family news. There's in fact a lot of change going on around you, Angela, within your family, but the graduation and the career success is one of them. News about children. She's also saying good luck. I'm trying to still, just bear with me, guys, while I work out how this thing works. Okay, so the newest contents come down the bottom here. Anyway, there's definitely a baby boy, but there's also this one's a bit of a tricky one, but I don't, if they give me the information, you as an audience, or whether it's one-to-one, however I'm doing my work, I don't edit out anything, you know, and I just have to basically tell you what I'm seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, or whatever's going through my body at any given moment in time. She's given a baby boy to the family, but what she's shown me is a baby's crib with white curtains that rocks, and it's got a pink frill on it. So I don't know whether there was a somebody that lost a pregnancy to the spirit world, or they've got the sense of there has been loss. I'm a teacher, but leaving the profession and starting something new, so needs lots of luck. Okay, well, I'm glad. Thank you for confirming that, because it just makes it that little bit more interesting for the audience, Angela, when I'm doing my readings. But she's talking about these children. I don't know if there's anyone that would have, you'd understand that someone lost, probably a baby girl, but there's a baby boy coming in. I'm asking, as I'm talking to, looking at the screen briefly, she's also saying, I'm asking her, what is she going, if she's doing teaching, you're leaving onto something, you should be doing work for yourself, because I'm looking at your aura. When I see orange and yellow together in an aura, this is usually showing someone that you're going to be venturing into something which means you can work off your own back and generate your money off your own back. It's basically it's talking about self-employment, even if it's on a part-time basis. She's also saying, don't forget to use your healing hands. They're showing me a treatment couch. I feel like one alternative health and medicine, beauty therapy, and the like. Okay. So there's a lot of changes coming in, and she's wishing you well with that. She's also sort of saying to me, when are you going to come and see us? I feel there's still an open, I know at the moment with COVID and everything else, it's just pretty impossible, or plans are put on hold, plans are put on ice. But I do feel that there is still an open invitation for you to go down under. And by the way, do you know if your cousin Sarah is into horse riding or got an interest in equestrian stuff? Because at the moment I've got loads of horses roaming around in my head. Just show me loads of horses. I'm not saying they're on a ranch or a farm or anything, but there seems to be like some kind of equestrian link. Where have we gone here? We're up there at the moment. Okay. She got anything else to say? Oh, there should be a little boy around you, Angela, who is learning. I'm seeing well, I refer to him as more of a baby than a toddler, but there is a water babe within your family. I'm looking at a little boy who is basically going to be a natural swimmer. A natural swimmer. He's got his water wings on at the moment. He looks about 13 months old, and I've got him ploughing through the water, but we'll see. Anyway, I'm just going to pick a card for you, Angela. Don't know why. I don't normally do this at this stage of a reading. I know we've only got an hour here compared to however long I want to rattle on for usually. She used to ride a lot. Okay. Marvelous. Thank you for the feedback. Obviously, I've got a clue what I'm talking about. I'm just going to pick you a card because I've also got there's another man that's just waiting in the wings, needing to link to someone here too. Unless it's to do with you, which might make sense. It might not do. This is a card for you, Angela, because my cousin's wife had a baby last week. Congratulations to the family too. The Easy Does It card is for you, though. I hope I've got the right position. I can't see quite where I've got that. But anyway, the Easy Does It card is for you, Angela. It says, stop trying so hard to control everything and all the doors will open for you. Anyway, lots of exciting things going on for you, Angela. I wish you all the very best. Especially this lot of things happening now, feels like, especially now March, April, May time is really when things are picking up speed. So all the very best for that. Not that you need it. And as you remembered yourself, the message was one of good luck. Stay tuned, Angela, because I think this is someone else, but stay tuned because also while Karen and I were nattering and she's explaining to me on how this StreamYard works, so I'm new to this, first time I've used this, there's a man stood in front of me who doesn't really want to talk so much about himself as he does to the person. I can't remember what I wrote down now. Who is watching, which will be a female. Anyway, this man took me a while to work out. So looking at a number of doors. Then I was aware that they're metal doors. Then I was seeing it's hard to see in through all this corridor of doors. And then I thought, oh, we've got like a spy hole here. And then I realised because of the echoing, I could hear, when people walk in quite an open place and it echoes and the chinking and the slamming of doors. I thought, right, I'm definitely in a prison or a cell type environment. When I zoomed out, I thought, I'm not in a custody suite, so not down the local nick banged up somewhere. We're actually dealing with somebody that worked within the prison. I don't think this man was a prisoner or spent time in jail himself, but he most definitely worked within a prison. I say with him because usually he showed me what you'd half expect to see, which is a great big long chain with keys dangling on the bottom. Kind of want to swing around when I'm walking around. And although I looked down and I saw highly polished boots, I'm not going to assume he was a prison officer. This could have been, could be a police on a routine visit. It could have been a probation officer visiting a prison, as they often do. Or what felt more right is that he worked as in a civilian capacity within a prison. And that's possibly going to be like a caretaker or a maintenance person or the like. I can see this man quite clearly. And he stands in front of me now. He's got quite dark hair, his hair kind of like sort of brill cream back a little bit, clean shaven man. He just, when he was at work within the prison, I'm asking him which one, if he can tell me which prison he worked at. Right, that's interesting in itself, because I feel like I've moved, that he wouldn't have just necessarily spent his time in one. Or is this Long Larson? Is it Winston Green? Is it Redditch? Is it where are we? And I'm getting more locked in the inside. Oh right, I don't know which prison it is. It's always showing it's the inside of it. Or anyway, the reason he's turned up here is to basically say that the person he to link to has been considering going in the under the umbrella, if you like, of law and order, and he's been linking to a female, I believe, or would understand a female around them that is thinking of joining the either prison service, probation service, maybe working as a forensic psychologist, or under any of the parts of the law and order, if you like, that would bring you into contact with prisoners. And I'm dealing with a male prison here, by the way, not a female prison. Someone's also saying to me, Debbie. I don't know if you've got any Debbie. I'm not looking at the screen like I don't normally, but maybe the name that I was linking to Debbie within your family, but that's strong. This man also, I think I'm pretty convinced, although he's showing me the prison service. What's your name? Not he's making reference to, I wonder if it's Claire as well, Debbie or Claire. But they crossed over quite quickly. I feel like he was here 1 minute and gone the next. He definitely didn't have a chance to say goodbye, and it was a natural cause of death. So this is something where he passed with like I believe a heart attack, as opposed to being in, for example, a road traffic accident. So I'm pretty sure somebody must understand this person, might think outside the box. If you're new to watching psychic mediums, by the way, or shows and things, that often some people ignore who's coming through the force, but well, they died before I was born, or I didn't know them that well, or oh, that's not who I really want to hear from. I want to hear from so and so, so you can ignore that. If you acknowledge who is here for you first, there's a good strong chance that the others do tend to rack up. So I'm going to see if there's any takers on this, because it's strong. Right, I'm going to hone in as well. I'll tell you where I'm going. Where I'm going now is that they're bringing in. I'm more in the Midlands. Okay, I'm more like 1 minute I was looking at it's Evesham, then I was kind of going off to the Birmingham direction. So somebody must know who I'm referring to. Otherwise, I'm going to be moving on from there. Okay. What did the person look like that had the heart attack, as Chelsea Sharps is asking? The man I'm seeing in front of me now, I'd probably put him, again, another smoker, which sometimes our lifestyles make us look a bit older than we actually are. He may well have only been into his 50s, but he looked older than that to me. And I believe he wouldn't have had a chance to retire. Or if he did, we're talking about probably a year at the most, because I've just got him here and gone. I'm seeing this man with quite dark hair and more, it appears to be darker eyes, probably more like sort of green, dark green, hazel brown, as opposed to light blue. Bit of whiskers, had a bit of sideburns down at the sides here. My gut feeling is that he was a caretaker within the prison service. But can I just ask you as well, Chelsea, as I'm talking to you now, don't worry about the names, because people latch onto the name, or they then think, oh well, it's not them because it's not the name. There's a reason why I see some mediums work mainly, they see better or hear better or whatever. I'm mainly clairvoyant, so I'd go by the description. I'm asking for confirmation that if I'm with you, Chelsea, that he needs to give me something that make you understand. And the next thing he's showing me is two great big red gas canisters, sort of thing you'd have if you needed to fuel a caravan for whatever reason. And he's also showing a lockup, a keep. And I think what we're getting at, whether this man also was a night watchman, or you'd understand that there's a caravan and a lockup and a keep. And in fact, I'm sure this is to do with you. I'm going to rattle on a bit more. And if you can't take this, then I'm definitely not with you. I'm definitely with somebody else. But he's showing that you need to understand, or the person I meant to link to would need to understand a night watchman, and there have been break-ins to take. I think it's quite weird. What I'm seeing is a high-rise fence. It's sort of got the crisscrossy type fencing, with like a car sales site, and then in between it, they've got some car sales site, and there's a petrol station that's not 24 hours. But there's also on that site, because like some places like petrol stations or whatever also sell gas, fuel, coal, logs, whatever. And he's making reference to the gas canisters. And there's been a caravan out the back. So this is very specific now. I need to link to somebody who understand this man that was a watchman, caretaker. He looked after premises. Let's put it that way. Not the man I'm seeing at the moment. No. Does he wear glasses? No, not as I'm seeing him now. And I don't think because I've seen him wandering around this prison, and then I'm seeing him sort of keeping guard of these premises. If you're looking for someone that's wearing spectacles, I'm not seeing him with glasses at the moment, because normally I go on to say he's wearing square or round or whatever glasses, and that's not what I'm seeing at the moment. He's also saying he's not going to go. That's quite weird. A widget. I don't know what on earth you're talking about. I kind of want to say give the name David too. And it's like I have no idea where that came from. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I don't even. David sounds like widget. Anyone placing that? If not, my uncle worked as a prison guard, died before he retired unexpectedly. That's what I'm on about. Okay. Right, Becky. Wonderful. Sorry to hear about your dad. I don't know if you didn't understand how I'm just, like I said, it's not always who you'd expect to come through first, and how much have you listened to all of that. But he, like you said, just going back over information. I don't want to repeat and go over, because I do have a habit of repeating myself an awful lot. And I'm sure you got it already, and Karen can put it on so you can watch it back anyway. But this man is here now. The reason he turned up before we even went on live tonight was he was talking about that the person, he said daughter, obviously you're his niece, but someone was thinking about going in the services themselves, or someone was thinking of going down into law and order themselves. You might have to, maybe the other thing about what's called evidential mediumship, I'd change what I refer to, basically on whatever label you put on a medium, more like an extra large, but never mind. A medium is a communication where you call yourself an evidential medium, clairvoyant medium, spiritual medium, psychic medium, whatever. But hopefully if you go away, you might well find out if he was also a watchman at one time, because of what he's rattling on about this car site and these gas canisters and this petrol station, and what he has a daughter. Okay, within his lineage, then you might have to find out, because sometimes we've got cousins and relations we don't always talk to. I'm pretty sure that someone is thinking about going into the services or being involved in the security, protection, and the like. I went into the military. Right. So I'm definitely, well, he was here before you even logged on. So that's perfect. Who obviously knows. He comes in, and I'm asking him now, because he's talked about a lot of things so far. But the message was that obviously hones you, because while it was, I kept seeing these highly polished boots. And I was saying to Karen before we came onto the camera tonight, I said, when they show me highly polished boots, it could be police service, prison service, their forces. There's quite a few occupations, but when they're highly polished boots and the keys on the end of the chain and all the rest of it, usually done with someone's in the forces. Thank you. He's also shown me, Becky, I don't know if you worked in the dog section or had a German Shepherd, but I'm seeing a German Shepherd, and now I'm actually literally seeing dogs used in service. I'm not saying that you were a dog handler or maybe got an interest in someone that has, but that's what I'm looking at next, where the dogs run up ladders and down the other side and jump through hoops of fires and do zigzags and do takedowns with the arm glove and all the rest of it. And I also feel like there's a firearms thing. Yes, when he was younger. Okay, thank you, Becky. I'm also asking I'm asking him any other reason why you've. Oh yeah, he mentioned the name Claire earlier on. I also thought I heard Debbie being said, but don't. He had a dog, okay, or dogs, okay. Whether or not they were trained as part of his service or whether that's what you did, but I was looking at dogs in service, dogs that are trained to protect, basically. Like guard dogs. I mean, most dogs will protect their property and their owners regardless without much training, but these ones were specifically designed for training. I'm asking him any particular reason why he's here. And I've got the feeling at the moment for you, Becky, and don't read too much into it. It is what it is. Sometimes I say to people, "Oh, you need to check your offside tyre," and they think they're going to have a car crash. No, it's just that you need to check your offside tyre of a car. In your case, when I say he's given me the feeling of needing to be brave, there seems to be some big challenges coming up, and what he's shown me symbolically, thank you for acknowledging the information. This is why I'm saying you need to check this, need to check that, because you might not know. What he's shown me symbolically is a crossroads, and I do feel you're going to be, if not already right now at this moment in time, at a crossroads in your life, and it's a case of knowing which direction to take. And as I'm talking to him, I'm asking, what is the crossroads about? Is it about her work? Is it about love? Is it whether to leave this situation or go into that one? And he's basically saying what I'd say to people anyway, which is to follow your heart. This is a much quicker way of doing things. Let me just ask Liz. Hold on. The big crossroads where you need to be courageous. Right. Okay. The one thing I don't want you doing at the moment, Becky, is you cannot afford at the moment, just a quick rune cast to get some clarification on this, you cannot afford to, one, not be brave, two, you mustn't let other people dictate to you how to live your life or how to do your job. This is not a time to be timid or back down. This is a time to pick yourself up, dust yourself down, be brave enough to keep moving forward. Almost like talking of I remember when I was in the police service and we got petrol bombed, and the reason we got petrol bombed deliberately was to put faith in the uniform. You know yourself, if you've got forces uniform, you've got to have a degree of faith in it. And so we got petrol bombed. You're walking through a wall of fire thinking, am I going to get burnt? And the answer is no, of course not, even if there's flames coming up underneath your visors. Quite an interesting experience, but a bit like walking through hell, really. A bit like being on the earth plane. Anyway, these rune stones that are in front of me says this is, don't let other people tell you how to live your life. Don't let other people tell you how to do your job. Look after your good physical self. The Sigil rune stone right in the middle of it all, I've just done for you quickly, Becky, it's all about being visionary. You've got a clear idea of what you want and where you're going, and you're going to get it. Okay, so don't that's maybe why he's turned up tonight. There's always a reason why they turn up. It's not just because sometimes they just pop in to say hello, but normally there is a reason why. I'm just going to cut the pack for you and see what I don't know. Let's have a quick look at these. I'll just cut this pack of cards for you and see what else on a finishing note he's got to say. Just one other thing, Becky. And I might be I think I'm moving on to someone else. So I'll just pick this card for you. I think I'm moving on to someone else. This one for you, I don't know if I've got it on camera. Hopefully I have. It says goodbye to the old and hello to the new. It says you finished one part of your life and now a new and even better part is beginning. So complete ending, beginning for you. Right, quick slurp of my orange ale because I haven't stopped talking all day long. Now, I need to, I've had a bad couple of days, but I'm moving forward. Brilliant. Thumbs up. Splendid. Next, I need to come to somebody that would understand, well, what have I got in front of me? I'm just going to blab it out. Sometimes when I'm doing live shows, back in the days when we did actually go to venues and clubs and things, I would be quiet and then blurt it all out. But nowadays, because it must be quite boring sat in front of your iPad, your computer, your phone, or whatever device you happen to be watching this on, I may as well give you a running commentary of what I'm seeing. And what I'm seeing right now is this. I've got an aerial shot. Can you imagine having a bit of an out-of-body experience? If you've ever had one of those, they're quite an interesting thing. Okay, brilliant. Thanks, Becky. If you imagine being looking down on an operating table, I'm looking at, I can't see the top half of this man's body nor the bottom half. I'm looking at the middle section here. It's definitely a man's body because it's exposed, as in there's no shirt or gown or anything. And there's a scar that's been put across the center of his chest, and I believe that this is to do with a gentleman that was due for a heart operation, or at the very least surgery. I'm assuming, rightly or wrongly, this is heart related because of where the scar is and the stitching. I can't think what else you would need a scar there for. He says, I'm going to work with him now. This man is white, as in skin colour. I'd probably put him into his 60s. Maybe he was a bit older than that. I kind of feel he was due for a triple bypass operation, but the main part, it was due for a heart operation. And he says, but I didn't quite make it. So he wants to be remembered to 3 girls. That's interesting. Someone called David West has just said hello. And earlier on, I wrote down it's David Widget or something. But it's interesting. We've got a David with a W also just popped up on the screen. So I might need to tune into you in a bit. But he said that he was due for a heart operation, but didn't quite make it in time. The man's white. I put him into his 60s, possibly early 70s. He talks about making reference to leaving 3 girls behind. There's 3 daughters, sorry, is what is meaning at this moment in time. And one of the girls has got quite dark hair and greeny, hazily coloured eyes. She's on the earth plane, and she's really quite angry with her dad, or is angry with her dad, because he should have looked after his health better. I think he either drank too much and possibly smoked. I can't smell cigarette smoke, but maybe he smoked. He said, I drank too much and I smoked too much, although I think that was curtailed. But also he showed me a fry up and greasy food. So there's one daughter that's angry with her dad for crossing over and felt robbed of her dad because he didn't make better lifestyle choices. And he's here because he's wanting to kind of apologize for for letting her down. They come back sometimes to say hello, come back to us for this reason, that reason, but I need to link to somebody who would understand that there is I don't give a care if there's an idiot there, that they're my inconvenience from someone being a pest on this keep on chatting is a lot less worse than the hex they're going to be getting from me. I'm joking, by the way, sort of. Right, so anyone understanding this okay, this guy that did he play cards? Let me have a look. Well, this guy I'm seeing now, okay, he's quite tall actually. I'm 5'7", so this guy is getting on for good 5'11" or 6 foot tall. He appears to be quite tall. I'm sat down, so I reckon he's about 5'11" actually. Clean shaven man. I wouldn't say he was a huge man, but he was quite well built in the shoulders. Let me see if I get anything out of him. He says he's really come to say sorry for a lot of reasons, which is unusual. Well, it's not unusual, but I just think he just wants to clear the table or put things right. And he says, I want to apologize for being, by his book, not mine or anyone else's, kind of like lazy. He said I could have helped around the home more. He could have been a more useful husband, but there's these 3 girls he says he's let down. Is this guy just Chelsea Sharps I'm linking to? He has got quite a wide neck, but he's quite wide. Is a well-built man. I wouldn't say he worked out. I think a lot of his possibly a lorry driver or driver by profession, or had a background in that. And there's a daughter that he's making reference to that's, well, his language not on begins with P and ends in off. That was annoyed because he didn't change his lifestyle, but he was due to get a heart operation. He was due to get things corrected. Okay, so this Chelsea Sharp seems to be, was he burnt on his neck? Oh, what do you mean burnt on his neck? I wonder. Did he play cards? Was he burnt? Was he burnt? Is a fibber? No. Princess Tori is asking, is there a fibbler in his heart? No. Okay. Right. Okay, let's just go back. I'm just going to see if I can get something. Did he die on the operating table? That's interesting, Leslie, because that's the first thing I saw first. Leslie Dunn's asking. I'm going to run it past again. The very first thing I saw was an operating table, and I didn't see an open heart. I didn't see like an operation taking place. I saw a scar, so I didn't see the top or bottom half. He then went on to say, I died before the operation. Now, it might well be that if he was on the operating table at the time, he might have passed. We might have been having an outlook. So first thing I thought when I was up looking down, I thought, almost an out-of-body experience going on here. Could be a near-death experience. That's what I saw first of all, Leslie. Don't think that they're lingering around in cyberspace or stuck between this world and the next, because they're not. So the person I need to link to, Leslie, this mainly to do with a daughter being annoyed about how that he crossed over, and he's come to say, I could have done more. He considered himself, looking back on his life, to have been a bit lazy, could have done a bit more around the home. Obviously, if you've got a heart condition or it needed like a bypass, then there's a little bit limited of what you can do anyway. But so you're understanding this, Leslie? Because I'm seeing this. Let's have a look. Right, see if you can place that. So I'm just going to get one other thing. See if there's one other thing. For some reason, he keeps showing me this, and I've ignored it, but he keeps representing the same thing. One thing he was good at doing was, my uncle was a lorry driver and he had a bad accident with a scar in the middle. Okay, that's interesting, because I thought it was heart. I assumed it was heart. And I don't know if you know, Leslie, because he said lorry driver earlier on, and we recorded on the live. But the one thing he was good at doing, you might remember this, Leslie, or you might not, was he kept showing, when he, well, so not the sort of thing that many people do, I guess, but he was showing me a wheelbarrow with the kids in, and pushing the children in a wheelbarrow. There's two little girls. It's the middle of the summer, because they've only like 3 or 4 years old, if that, fair hair, pigtails at the side, or one of them's got pigtails, the other's got more a very slightly darker brown hair compared to the girl with fair hair, and he's pushing around the garden in a wheelbarrow for a laugh, and they're giggling away, and I can see a paddling pool. Okay, Leslie, if you're saying he drank loads, like he's admitted he's come to say sorry because someone was annoyed that he didn't change his habits, even though he was due for it felt to me he was due for an operation, whether or not you'd know that, and he had the scar. But anyway, he's here because he's sorry. That is the main thing. My understanding, and take out of this what makes sense, you're not here to preach about anything. You take out what this makes sense to you and throw away the rest. Is that when your number's up kind of thing. No matter how cruel or weird that seems, it's just for whatever reason. But he's wanting to apologise for that. And I'm just, bear with me a second, Leslie, because I just want to ask him something. Thank you. I'm asking your uncle, who's Bry or Die, by the way, as well. So either Bry or Die. Bry, Die, sounds like that. there's a lady that's also, yeah, I get that. Okay. There's a lady that's also with him, Leslie, that is coming in on, when I say a mother connection, this is usually one above you. That's about to say that before I read it on the screen. There's a lady that's with him that's coming on a mother connection, he's sort of tucked under his arm. He's quite a big man compared to your mum. And she's just put her hands together as if to say, you have been praying to Lily's medium. Oh dear, that's funny. You've been praying to hear from your mom for some time, and whether they were your mom followed or within your family there's a Catholic belief. They're showing me rosary beads, they're showing me Virgin Mary, they're showing me a crucifix, they're showing me things that maybe back in the either that or there's a typically religious name like Mary or Anne, or there could be a Catholic, there's some sort of religious name. That's who he's wanting to bring in. But anyway, what your mum's been saying is you've been waiting to hear from me. She's taking you right back to childhood. She says it's time to remember sweet childhood memories. And that one's, well, no one can see us anyway, but might embarrass you in public. When you're a little girl, you had a thing about clinging on to her leg, and she's got these sort of brown tights on, as you do, the American tan tights or whatever. And back in the day, probably wore dresses or skirts more so than trousers. Looking at the footwear, we're probably in the 60s or 70s here or whatever. But she said you used to like clinging onto her leg, and she says you still miss. You've been reminiscing, and it's good to have childhood memories. She's been reminiscent about. She's got quite strong smelling perfume. She did like the smell of rose perfume, because I can smell like rose water and rose perfume. But I've also got the smell of Chanel No. 5. She said she loved to. You love to dress up. You'd put on her nightwear and her necklaces and a sun hat and her glasses. And she said she said when Father Christmas would come round, you'd put on her shoes and go out and wave to him. And she's getting quite emotional on me. Take it away. And she said one thing she didn't like, and she's trying to make you laugh now, is that when you were a teenager, Leslie, you used to sit and chew chocolate eclairs, not the cake type, but the toffees, and sit there trying to pick it out your teeth. And as for bubblegum, oh my God, that was forbidden. And she's wanting to say it's time to have some laughter back in your life. She's a really strong connection, actually. I don't know if you usually hear from her. But she says it's time to have some laughter back in your life. And she's also saying a little of what you fancy does you good, Leslie. She's shown me this, I don't know what I'm looking at. I haven't got anything that looks remotely like it in here. But I'm looking at a round glass trinket box sort of thing you get on your dressing table with looks like there's white powder inside, and maybe this is dusting powder, talcum powder or something, but it's in a trinket box. And I want to give you some earrings, but she wants you to treat yourself to some nice smellies. She's calling them smellies rather than perfumes or toiletries, and it's good to treat yourself. What else have we got to say? Oh wow, that's quite interesting. She's also going back on a memory link, Leslie. She's showing I'm looking at a wall unit in a lounge. It is actually against the wall, not being used as a room separator. It's like this kind of a, not, well, probably a little bit darker than that colour would, to be honest. A little bit more of a I've got anything quite like that, but it's not far off the wooden colour. Your mum was quite particular. Don't know, it was her 4th anniversary on the 14th of February. Okay, just bear with me on that one. But she's going back on a memory link now. So this place where there's a wall unit against the wall. She said I had a bit of a mishmash of carpets. 1 minute she's on about this sort of going back to an old house. This carpet is like twisted wool. You want a small trinket? Oh, okay, maybe that's what the powder was then. Okay, she was showing like a see-through. You know these sort of crystal clear cut glass crystal glasses. I can see. I'll come on to the ashes. Don't tell me too much. Let me do the work, not you. I'll let your mum do the work. I'm just the phone line. But oh yeah, this wall unit. She wants to explain herself here. And there's a wall unit, there's a round table. I can see all the cut glasses all neatly laid out. There's table mats in the top left drawer. She's on about those, and they had pictures of classic cars on some of them, if you remember. So she's going back to childhood, and the round table, the dining room table and chairs. There's a TV so it's lounge cum dining room. But what she's wanting to get at is this, without wanting to plant seeds in your head. She's saying, have you or haven't you? What I heard her just say was, have you noticed the orbs in your videos, right? And I'm asking your mom, has she or hasn't she? And I don't think you are not quite sure about that yet. She said, I don't think so. So have a look back at yeah, they belong to my gramps. Okay, the old stuff. So essentially, your mum is sort of taking you back to childhood. Have a look at the orbs. You might remember there's old stuff going on at the moment. Oh, and to answer she's on reason she was bringing up this cut glass trinket box with what I thought was powder in it. First of all, I thought it was the stuff they use at these nail bars. They'll glue nails on, because it's like it's white powder. I couldn't work out quite whether it's talc or what. But obviously, if you're looking for a nice box to put her, no, she said you wouldn't have done, but maybe next time you dig out some of any video footage you've got on camera, I'd have a look, because sometimes we don't clock things the first time round. But I want ones that are moving, so it's a video as opposed to photographs. But the reason she's going on about the ashes as well is that I do believe, and I know it can be done, people can get jewelry made with bits of people's ashes in their jewelry, or paperweights or things made out of glass. And she says there's a keepsake, because she said you're stressed about it. She says you should get the trinkets with ashes, and then you're worried it's going to get knocked over or something, or get lost or mistaken for something else. So she said you'll get some of it put into oh, that's nice. But some of it put into jewelry. Lastly, also Leslie Dunn, if I'm still with you, would you understand there's a dog that's a bit mischievous? She's shown me this hopeless at dog breeds. Whether this has got part of a collie in it, I'm useless at dog breeds, but I'm looking at this dog that would dig up anything up out of the garden. She's trying to make you smile. She said, for goodness sake, don't put me in the ground, because the dog will come and try and dig me up. I'm talking about the ashes here. She's trying to make you laugh, but I really do think there's a dog. What's his name? It's a he. That's just would dig at anything. You might need to recollect. I thought it was a border collie, but it's quite a collie cross. But she's just making a joke about that. Oh, and I heard tell that it sounds like I'm with Margaret. I'm with Margaret. Sometimes could be known as Betty or Maggie, possibly. I know it's quite a popular name, but let's have a look. I've got a necklace made of her ashes in and a picture in it. Okay, so she's confirmed about that. That's for Leslie Dunn. Where one above, yeah, the ashes. Okay, and it was her dog. Okay, the border collie dog down the bottom there. Well, your mum's saying don't put me in the garden, because there's a dog that would have come and dug the ashes up. Anyway, I'll leave her love with you. Didn't realise the time where oh crikey, where does the time go, Karen? Just one last, let's read my last message, by the way, Karen. Well, I don't know if it will be yet, Karen, so hold fire a minute, I'll say that. Can I just link to, because I think before David, is it West? I can't remember what it was now, surname. David West. But, I don't know anyone who actually, well, there's very few people's names, a few names I recognise, but can I just come to David West next on a more of a psychic connection, please? Before I looked at the screen, I got the name David Widget, which obviously your name is nothing like, but it is a surname beginning with W, and I put David, and I don't know what this widget, or for me a widget is something you get in a can of Guinness, I think, so it pours properly. But anyway, can I just link to you on a psychic level? So there's I don't want to bore people with what a psychic and medium is, because if you're on the Keep On Chatting network, you probably already know that. David, when I'm looking at your aura, if you don't mind me saying so, your aura, as you know, you probably know, is your get my teeth in. Electromagnetic fields that go around your body, that reflect personality, skills, abilities, things you've been through, things that come up as well. But when I'm looking right above your head, there's yellows and blues. And yellow and blue together in an aura around the head usually means, well, it can mean lots of different things. But I'm normally looking at a manager, supervisor, and someone most definitely in a position of their own workload. Now, the reason I'm talking about your aura is because it's yellow. Yellow is your logical, analytical side. So if people have got lots of yellow in their aura, I could be looking at an analyst, a statistician, a lawyer, or someone involved in quite a lot of scientific research. But yellow is your, mainly, in your case, this logical, analytical, rational mind. The blue above that is being in a position of trust and responsibility, where you're calling the shots, you're making decisions, you're doing the problem solving. What I'm curious about, though, is the greens and purple blotches that you've got going on above the blue as I'm looking at you now. Now, green, the aura, means lots of different things. Sometimes it's nursing, caring, healing, health, medical. Sometimes it's new beginnings. Sometimes it's connection to nature. It can mean lots of different things. But when there's green and purples, I can't help but wonder if you are more curious, or going to be, because it's on the top above your head, more curious about paranormal exploration and the scientific side behind ghosts, afterlife, auras, orbs, out of body, near death. It feels like things are going to be going that way. It's quite interesting. Your aura is really unusual. We've got yellows, blues, then these sort of, if you stare at a light bulb and look away, you've got blotches in front of your eyes. The blotches I'm seeing are like that, but they're greens and purples, which is this like more like I'd see around ghost hunters, paranormal investigators, and whatever. But they're giving me like you having, this won't make sense today because psychic readers never do. Yes, you work for yourself, okay. Is that part of you is going to be going, you've got like a daytime job and an evening job, but I want the hobbies and interest job becoming more of your work. That's where your income comes from. So where is it down the bottom? So I'm quite curious as to whether your pastime, your hobbies, your interest is actually going to be more of your work. And they're also telling me, because if I was doing your aura drawing now, I've got any to hand because I've sent them all off actually at the moment, is that we'd have the yellows, blues, greens, purple, weird stuff going on. Then you've got orange and yellow around that. And you need to be networking right now, David. Oh, you are 100% into the paranormal and science within it. Well, I'm expecting that to be more, if it's not already your source of income, then there's absolutely no reason why it couldn't be. And you're in good company to get talking to Karen. Should we tell David John to go do one? You're about as welcome as a turd at the swimming pool, mate. Anyway, sorry to be so blunt, Karen. Forgot where I was for a minute. Going on with your, it's not what you know at the moment, David West, this is for, by the way. It's not what you know, it's who you know. It's this networking is what's important right now. And the other thing I'm going to say, although because the yellow in your aura is showing very much this scientific and analytical side to you, people that are into paranormal stuff, whether it's as a job or whether it's part-time or whatever, often have an intuitive side. Don't get so hung up on EMF meters and changes in the science behind it that you're not also using your own intuitive side. So so you just trust what you're receiving. Oh wow, did you know about this guy? I'm not sure. Just bear with me a minute, Dave. This is again for David West. There's a chap that's literally just stood in front of me now. I know we're nearly up to time. Sorry, Karen, I did say I'd rattle on a bit too much. But he's holding a stopwatch, no, a clock watch in front of me on a chain. And it's not because it's 8 o'clock already, but he's swinging it like a pendulum. Now, there's a man that stood in front of me that's going to be one of two things. Either he's going to be a relation of yours on a grandfather connection, and therefore he could be it's not a spirit guide, it's not a guardian angel, but a helper or inspirer. And this man's a big man. He's a clean shaven man. His hair's quite thick at the sides here, dark hair, is pretty much much thinner on top, brushed back. He's got brown framed glasses and brown eyes, clean shaven man. He's got his own teeth. He's a big bloke. He's wearing a white, these sort of white coats that people that work in labs wear, just white pressed coat down it. But he's dangling a watch, and I'm convinced this man is a hypnotherapist. He would have been a hypnotherapist as a job and played a counselling role. Let's see if you'd understand whether you can place this guy, and if not, you've got an inspirer, as in somebody that's going to help you on your sort of sight pathway. And also because of this link to talk about generate, but this guy that says PM me or DM me, do you know what, you're not generating yourself some bad karma, mate. Anyway, you've got someone helping you. So I'm really curious about. Now he's saying, I know it's a generic name, but I mean George. So I would really have a bit of digging around about that. The man isn't at the moment. Okay, all right. Don't worry. I think this is inspiring. So when I'm not going to go on too much. There's a difference between spirit guides, guardian angels, helpers, and inspirers. And I think this is an inspirer. So I know that you're going to do some really good stuff, and you're in good company. Get hold of Karen, and if you're not already, I don't know who you are, obviously. What else has he got to say? I'm asking him one other thing. Just bear with me. I can't speak to Karen at the same time. I don't want to boot myself off the camera. I'll let her do that in a second. But they're showing me quite a large tropical fish tank, an aquarium. I say tropical, could be marine life, and this might be that either you've got a tropical fish tank or do fish keeping, or he did. Because I'm looking at one of these great big yellow, they're almost like a triangle shape, this fish. It's yellow and it's got black vertical stripes on it floating around in front of my face. So there's a link to aquariums. This man, if you don't keep fish, then he definitely did. Or I've been seeing and taking notes of numbers. Numbers ones, people ask about numbers a lot. Ones are all about new beginnings, new starts. Like in tarot, the ace cards relate to the number one. So ones is about new starts, new beginnings, new projects. If you're sitting twos, are usually to do with partnerships. So aces in tarot, for instance, ace of wands is to do with launching enterprise. Ace of swords is how I read it. Not everyone read the cards the same way. Swords is about having a positive mindset. Ace of pentacles is a firm foundation. Ace of cups is the start of love. And twos, by the way, David, is like in tarot, the two of cups show love and understanding between two people. The two of wands will show successful working partnerships. The two swords would show a battle between two equally matched opponents. The two of pentacles or discs will be juggling commitments to your character. So those ones and twos is like you working for yourself, number one, and two, working with others, like paranormal teams, like networking, like business partnerships. That's why, and I'm not saying that it's the only answer, because if you look up in numerology, they've got their own meaning, but the ones and twos is how I would read it. We have a corner fish tank. Okay, all right. Sixes, someone just lastly but not least, Gary Fields. I know I'm gone over time, and I know they've got another show, so I've got to shut up for once in my life. 609. Sixes is like in cards is about generosity, and nines is the opposite. It's like what goes around comes around. Anyway, I'm well aware that we also meditate on a regular basis to open up with more with the spirit, or whatever you're doing is working. Otherwise, when I'm remote viewing you, sorry to be nosy, but that's how I see auras when I'm not actually with somebody. Whatever you're doing is working. Whatever you're doing is definitely working. And you've got some hypnotherapist on the other side who goes on about your fish tank. got the name George. Maybe actually, I'm asking why did you say? I know his name's not George or Harry, but I think you've got pet names for the ghosts that you encounter. I'm convinced. If I didn't know better, I'd say there's a pirate or a cavalier or someone you call George. Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, remember George and Harry, you've got funny names for your ghosts. We're part of I don't know, what's this? We're part of the Keep On Chatting network, do regular shows on here under our group, name Shadow Chasers. Oh, okay. All right. Well, I didn't know that. I mean, I know Karen's on here. It's the first time I've spoken to Karen, well, apart from the other day, to sort out to do this, even though she's been to my show. Anyway, I'm talking too much. Karen, not a clue how I clock off this. I've also got to do a reading at 8:30, so you might need to rescue me. I'm going to see if I can press this button without putting everyone off into cyberspace. There we go. Thanks for joining me tonight. That was exciting.
Thank you very much. Yes, David and Jessica there, which is David's partner. Yes, they are part of our team.
Oh, how weird is that? Because obviously I don't know. Because I actually asked you the other day. I said keep spelt with a A, and I didn't know. I think you said it's the name. You said it's the names of your team, but you didn't say what the names were. We didn't get around to that because I had to sod off. But yeah, wow, that was really. Sorry.
Thank you.
Anybody, I forget we've got people watching, you know. Oh dear.
Well, that's all right. Say what you like. Everybody else does.
I forgot what I said when you had your visitor here, and I don't look at the screen, you see, because it's you know what it's like. But so anyway, it's been great fun. And thank you.
I want to say thank you very much. I am just putting on. So for anybody that missed the beginning, we never actually got chance to actually have the quick discussion because you had messages before we'd even gone live. Can you let everybody know a little bit about yourself and where they can find you? Please.
I don't know what I want to know. Where can you find me? Cloud Cuckoo Land, I think. Right, I've got my own website, which is julieangelinternationalpsychicmedium.com. Not exactly a short one. I'm on Facebook. I've got a Facebook page. There's quite a few Julie Angel, this, that, and the other, but the one to get hold of me on is the Julie Angel International Psychic Medium page. You need to search on pages, not people, because that's where I am. You find me on the internet anyway. Yes, I do one-to-one readings at the moment. I can do them by WhatsApp, Skype, FaceTime, Zoom, Messenger, virtually. And my readings at the moment are really, they take me an hour and a half because I do the aura drawing in advance, which for those homework, children, finance, health, travel, education, love, relationships, and the mediumship side too. They cost 70 quid. And they take an hour and a half. And you get a digital copy and the aura drawing emailed and sent to you, and the CD and the actual piece of paper as well. So that's what I do for my one-to-one readings, because we can't do shows apart from these ones, which are great fun.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, you can't do shows. And you do different types of readings. This evening, you have done your mediumship and you've done psychic readings, but you do also do other types of readings as well. And we will definitely want you back.
Thank you. I'd love to come. Love to be here. It's great fun. And
you did mention Gary Fields earlier on because he said about the numbers. And we'll get you on Gary's show for a Q&A one evening. And we'll also love to have you back on here on the psychic and spiritual segment doing readings for us again in the future. Absolutely, we'd love to have you back if you will come back.
Yeah, I'd love to come, and thank you very much for asking me in the first place to come here, and for all the people that joined tonight and supported you and your page as well, and also your team, which I don't know who they are, but you know, good. It's probably not a bad thing actually when you think about it, because they're not led by anyone.
Yeah, it was quite good because they're all in the background there, and they come up as themselves sometimes when they comment. Sometimes they come up as Keep On Chatting. So you could have there could be actually 4 of us all commenting as Keep On Chatting at one point.
That's all right.
That does happen. So yeah, thank you very much. Thank you to everybody that has watched this evening. We do get spammers. We do apologize. Not much we can do about it. The only way we'd stop the spammers if we actually started charging people for these lives. We don't want to charge people. So we do have lots of moderators that come on and they delete the comments and all of those spammers get blocked. I do need to give you a pre-warning because 9 times out of 10, as soon as we go off air, within about 2 hours, I will have umpteen notifications telling me that the spammers are back on and they are contacting people directly, asking them to either inbox them or they're offering to inbox you. Nobody, and I mean nobody from this network or Julie herself will directly contact you and offer you a reading. We do not do it.
I will never, ever, ever inbox somebody ever to see if they need a reading. Paul, my better half, does all my bookings. He can't keep up as is. If anyone wants a reading from me, you contact me. I will never contact you. And people use my photograph and everything to make up fake profiles. I'll never contact you. You want a reading? Like Ghostbusting, you contact me. I don't contact you. So I feel your pain. It is annoying. It is annoying when they do that because they are just...
Yeah, if it's paranormal, contact me. If it's readings, contact Julie. I do readings as well, but tonight is all about Julie. So, yeah, thank you all yet again. Do not, like Beth just said, I've already had an inbox. Yes, please do ignore. If you're inboxed or you're asked to inbox anyone, ignore them. They are scammers. They will tell you, I will give you the earth. They will give you nothing apart from a headache and take your money fraudulently. Basically, it's that simple. So yeah, please do ignore. And it's not funny really, but Jess has just said I got a message which is quite funny when she's actually part of Keep On Chatting Network, so she knows they are a spammer, which makes it... They've even contacted me before and I'm like, it's my network, but thanks for inboxing me anyway.
Well, the paranormal group, I have a suggestion. Why don't we rack up all the demons and entities and just chuck them their way to sort out? What a splendid idea. No,
yeah. And for those of you that don't know, which are new to us this evening, we have 12 different shows a week. At 7 o'clock every Thursday, we have live readings and we have a different reader every single week. So if you enjoyed this evening, we've got on the screen, as you can see, at 9 o'clock, we've got open mic hour. We'll be discussing Drakelow Tunnels and that location because the rest of us are all paranormal investigators and we've all got lots of stories we want to tell you about. So thank you all tonight for watching. It's very much appreciated. All take care of yourselves. Stay in contact. Like the page. Keep following it. Go over to Julie's page and like that so you can keep a follow on there too. And also, obviously, like I said, I've put the website up and Julie's website is in the comments and it will stay in the comments. If you missed this evening and you want to go back and watch it, you can. It will stay on the Facebook page and it will stay on our YouTube channel permanently. None of our lives get deleted or removed at any time. So thank you all.
Thanks very
and
much.
good night.
Good night. Take care.